Hi everyone, welcome to Psychology. I'm Mrs. Gardner. I'm so sorry we couldn't meet in person, but hopefully I'll be able to answer your questions tonight. And if you have any further ones, please let me know. So a little bit about myself. I have a family. I have a 15-year-old who's a sophomore, and I also have a 7th grader at Clay. So I understand the ins and outs of high school as a parent as well as a teacher. Originally, I grew up in New Hampshire. I have family in Colorado and Arizona and Paris. That's where my nephew is, in New Hampshire, Florida, Pennsylvania, so all over the place. And we love to travel. So as you can see, we're there at Arches and then also the San Francisco Bridge. We do a lot of traveling, and our family is very active. I grew up playing sports. My kids do as well. My daughter's on the JV soccer team here at Carmel, and my son's on the Clay tennis team, and they're very active as well. And my daughter does a lot of charity work, volunteer work with the school and outside, and I did that as well. I've been here at Carmel for 9 years, but I've been teaching for, it says 23, it should be 24. 24 years now. So I've been around education for a very long time and just love kids. That's what I've always wanted to do. And lived in many, many places, as you can see there. New Hampshire is my home, but I've lived in North Carolina twice, Florida, Pennsylvania, and now in Indiana. So what is psychology? A lot of kids will ask me that. Why did I take this class? They heard that it was fun and it was something that they could learn some things about themselves, and that's true. We study about the human behavior and mental processes, and kids learn about research, and they learn about biological basis for behavior, like sensation, perception. They learn about cognition and learning and motivation and development, and why they're different from other people. We learn about personality. And learn about different disorders as well in social psychology. In terms of what you need to know about the class, the kids should have a notebook. It's not cumulative. We don't have a cumulative final. So once we finish with a unit test, they don't have to hold on to any of that stuff. And my main objective in this class is for them to learn something. So we're constantly learning different things each day, but it's very fluid in terms of its pace. And so I want the kids to keep that notebook. If they, on all of the unit tests, they're allowed to use their notes if they're handwritten. So it's advantageous for them to keep a notebook. I have them take notes at home, but most of the stuff is done in class. They won't receive a textbook. Our textbook is fine. We're going to be adopting a new one for very good reasons. There's some old information and sort of in it. So anything that we have to read at home or we do anything, I will provide that for them and put those readings on Canvas, any supplemental things. And you're really not going to see them do any homework. We can't try to keep that in class. This is an academic, for sure, an academic elective, but I try to keep it light and so they can kind of concentrate on their core subjects and something that they'll enjoy. So we do a lot of that classwork in class. If they are absent, all that work is on Canvas, the in-person notes, activities, videos, handouts, all that stuff. They need to check those modules, and you can do that as well if you want to see what they're doing. Like I said, in general, the pace of the course is very fluid. You know, sometimes we'll get into discussion or the content activity we're doing, a project we're doing takes a little bit more. So and I'm fine with that. We'll have time to cover lots of stuff this semester. They test once or twice a month, depending on the unit that we're doing. So they're not going to be testing like every week and so forth. I do give them little quizzes here and there to see how they're doing, but for the most part, their grades are going to be based on their test scores and projects. All the grades are going to be calculated again this year like a semester grade. Those quarter grades, again, are going to represent a progress report, and I do total points. So things are going to be weighted more just based on how many points they are. So all the points are, you know, sort of calculated in there. So unit tests are 100, and then the projects range from 30 to 50. Again, we have no final test. We have a final project that they'll do. That will be also 100 points, the same as a test. And very little homework assignments and so forth. I don't want to deal with them just getting, you know, zeros and things like that from not doing homework. Hopefully they're doing that work in class and they're understanding so that we can have them do really well on the test. Okay. In terms of class topics, you'll see that there right now we're in research methods and what is psychology. We've been doing the history of psychology, different schools of thought. We were analyzing some people, and then our next unit that we definitely will do is on the brain and the biological basis for behavior. So we learn about the brain, and one of our simulations that we're going to do is they have to analyze zombie behavior. As you can see above me, that's why I have a zombie there. And they get to look at different parts of the brain, see what's not working on a zombie, and so forth, and I do a project with that. After that, we sort of I ask them what's their top 5 things that they definitely want to learn, and I make sure I do those first. And a lot of times it's sensation and perception, personality. Definitely we will end with abnormal or clinical. I don't really like to call it abnormal because many disorders are not abnormal anymore. So clinical psychology and therapy, but all of those are definite choices that we could have. They like to do sleep and dreams and consciousness and what their dreams mean, and if we can even say that. But those are sort of the other topics that we might cover in the semester. If you have any questions about anything, please let me know. Like I said, you won't see a lot of homework coming home, and grades are going to be very few and far between because I'm not giving them a ton of little assignments. So you'll see some participation points that I have on there that give them some extra credit for things in class, and then after we should see some more grades coming in that are some big stuff that's kind of testing some of the things that I've already taught them. So very mastery-based class. No reading quizzes or anything like that. I make sure that the kids it's their responsibility to do that work if they're at home, but again, they're not going to have much to do. So if you have any questions about grading or, what your child's doing, please don't hesitate to give me a call and leave a message, or definitely email me. That's the fastest way to get me is through email. Hope everybody has a great year and a safe one. Take care.